Hello there. Welcome back to... Is my camera working? Looks like something's wrong with my camera. Okay. Okay, welcome back to the stream for Brackeys Game Jam 2023.2. And the theme is diving deeper. This morning I was creating an audio settings menu, which doesn't work because we have UI Toolkit implemented for the stuff that our programmer Lavi was doing. I don't really know how to use UI Toolkit. And so I made this audio settings menu with Unity UI because I have components already that will work with the Unity sliders. But I built out the UI and then I can't interact with the sliders at all. So I will have to do that later. I also was working on some sound effects, and another guy on our team, Dan, who was originally supposed to do writing, but this game decidedly doesn't need too much narrative, also took up the mantle of doing the level tile map, which was great because I struggled with that yesterday. It is definitely not something I'm good at or want to do, but needed to get done. So I was glad that he did that. I just got a Stream Deck, so I'm trying out these buttons here. Okay. I think we can call this done. Create a paper map of the level. Create main level blockout using tile map. Compose and implement main music loop pickup items. Character animation. Ouch. That's done. Cat is working on the main music still. Let's see, implement big bad reveal. Big. We basically have a monster, spoiler alert, that is going to show up at some point. Our other programmer too had to bail. He's too busy lately, which is understandable. So I've kind of taken up the secondary programmer role for this project. And I've been learning finally how to use this thing, the animation state machine in Unity, which always kind of baffled me before. Because it's kind of confusing. Like you have an animator controller. You have animation clips, which when you just click on them, you don't really see anything unless you open up a timeline. That's already confusing. And then the controller is what has the state machine inside of it. And this is already kind of messy, so I can see why people don't really like using this if they can avoid it. But it's working fine for our purposes. And yeah, so we've got an idle animation, a swimming animation, a power-up animation, and a pain animation. So that's pretty cool. And now we have a level as well. So that's the gist of things right now. We have some items and stuff that have not been implemented yet. So maybe I can look to do that. Let me add that to the Trello for tracking. Yeah, so I'll do that right now. I technically still have to do this, create and implement shop item sound effects, but I already did generic, like hover and select sounds. Oh, you know what? Actually, that reminds me. Let me do this so I don't forget. Implement start game button sound. So I made a unique sound for clicking start game rather than a generic selection. But earlier today when I was working, I didn't have time to figure out how to make that work. I think Lavi did make some event for it that I can hook into, but I'm not sure where that is. But I can try to find out now. Also, earlier today, I set up this nifty little menu here, which I like to have in my game jams. Just because when you have a couple different scenes and you need to flip between them, it can be kind of a pain in the ass to remember where they are sometimes. So this little load scene menu is great for that. So I know that the events that Lavi was raising were showing up as debug logs in the console. So like it says mouse hover event, and there's fade in and fade out. So that just says fade out. So there isn't one specifically for start game. But so those are the generic UI sounds that I have hooked up. So that also will work for the like purchase menu in game. Okay, so I'm blocked on that task. So what was the other thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, the Pearl item. So this is a great example of why this is useful right here. I don't need to go searching in the project for it. So I'm not sure which one is correct. Probably the one with the 1. I'll just assume that, since that means it is a later version. So we want to slice these up, which means that we need to change the sprite mode to multiple. Okay. So these are 32 by 32. It's kind of weird that you have to click apply in here and apply here. Otherwise, it's like, you didn't save. Yeah, so we have a level block out here, which is pretty neat. Thank you, Dan. Now, I know Lavi said he made a pickup item, pick upable. Is that an interface? No, it's a class. It's a mono behavior. So are there any in the scene? There is. There's a pearl. Where is that? Got it. That's what that red thing was. Let's turn this color back to white. Then change the sprite out. And I know Lavi has his own sprite player that might be a little more straightforward than a traditional Unity animation, because it's literally just like show this sprite index after a certain amount of time. So we don't need to create like an animation asset and all that stuff. Okay, art, item sprites. One of these. So Pearl. That looks about right for the collider. Maybe we can make it even a little bigger. And